Hello and welcome back to Gapeys Grub. Today we're going to be making some vanilla extract. Before we get started though, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about vanilla beans. So as you may know, vanilla beans are actually pretty expensive. So if you want to get the best price for vanilla beans, you'll want to go onto Facebook and search for some of the vanilla bean co-op groups. And that's where you're going to find the best prices on vanilla beans. These ones here I just got in the mail today are from the Indri Vanilla group on Facebook. And I'll put links to the groups in the description of this video if you want to check them out. But Indri Vanilla, their group, they only do one type of bean per order, and their orders are only open for a short period of time. I think maybe a couple weeks or so. And they take a lot longer to ship. So these I ordered back in, I think, early December, and I just got them today, beginning of February. So these took almost 2 months to get here, and these are the bourbon Madagascar vanilla beans, and I ordered 6 ounces of this one, and they were only $10 an ounce, which is a really good price. So I'm not sure you're gonna find a better price anywhere else. And these are grade A vanilla beans. So that's one issue or downside to that group, is it takes a long time to get your beans. And also they package them in a Ziploc bag. And unfortunately my Ziploc bag got a little hole in it in shipping. So my mailbox is filled with the scent of vanilla, which I guess isn't a problem. But it's probably not too healthy for the beans to be exposed to air for very long. So I'm definitely gonna get these put into my vanilla extract making here as soon as possible. Let's see what else about these. I think that's about all about that particular co-op group. Now the other co-op group that I've ordered from is called Vanilla Pura, and they're a little bit pricier. So for the same type of bean, the bourbon Madagascar beans, they're $15 an ounce. So that's $5 more an ounce than this one. But on their site, you can order any type of bean, almost any type of bean. They've got probably 5 or 6 different types of beans you can order, and you'll get them in less than a month. And their orders are open all the time. So that is another option. So if you're in a hurry and don't want to wait, and don't want to wait for a certain type of bean, you'll want to use Vanilla Pura. And Vanilla Pura also sends their orders in an airtight sealed bag, so there's no possibility of air getting into that. So that is one benefit to ordering from the other one. So it's quicker, a little bit more expensive, but I think the packaging is much better. So those are the 2 groups that I've been involved in. So it just depends on what you're looking for. For cheapest option, I would go this one, but again, you're gonna be waiting a lot longer. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So these are the liquors that we're gonna be using today for making our vanilla extract. So the most popular option for vanilla extract is probably this one here. This is a vodka, and you can pretty much use any type of vodka you want or any type of liquor, but you'll wanna use something that's at least 40% ABV or 80 proof, and that's what all of these I believe are. But vodka has the least amount of flavor in it, so you're gonna get the purest vanilla flavoring when you use the vanilla. We've also got some Jim Beam here. So this is a bourbon, and this is gonna give you a little bit of a stronger flavored vanilla. And then we've also got a white rum. So this is gonna give you more of a sweet, sweeter type vanilla extract. So you can use tequila if you want, but I think the most popular is gonna be vodka. So if you're only gonna use one liquor for your extract, I would definitely go with vodka. But I like to experiment, so I'm gonna be using all 3 of these. And I did mention before that I ordered some vanilla beans from the other co-op group, and these are the Tahitian beans. So the Tahitian beans, I also use 3 different liquors for these, and these were started about 3 weeks ago. So I've got vodka in this one, and you can see it's just starting to turn a little bit light brown. And then this one here is a white rum. And then this one here, I used E&J brandy. So I'm not gonna use brandy this time because I wanted to try this Jim Beam here. But we're gonna see how these go. And they'll need to stay in these containers for, usually people say at least 12 months. And I think I've heard that bourbon may take a little bit longer, so just keep that in mind. If you're gonna be using bourbon, you may need to go a little bit longer. And the containers that I use for these are like flip top type containers. So I've got some different containers that I'm gonna be using for my new extracts, so I'll show you those. So these are the containers I'm using for my Madagascar beans. These are actually Weck jars. You can find these on Amazon. I use these for my sourdough starter, as well as storing other things. So I've already got these labels, so I remember which is which. So I just use some like masking tape with some permanent marker on it. So let's go ahead and get these guys started. All right, so we're gonna need a measuring cup to measure our alcohol, and we've got a scale here to measure our beans. So a lot of people ask, how many beans should I use? Well, it's really, really hard to tell how many beans because each type of bean is a different length, a different weight. So you can't really go by number of beans, so that's why you need to weigh your beans. So when I use the Tahitian here, these Tahitian beans are much longer and much fatter than the Madagascar beans, and you'll find that to be the case with each type of bean. So these Madagascar beans, I've got 6 ounces here, so I've got 3 jars, and I'm gonna be putting 2 ounces of beans in each jar. And the recipe for making the vanilla extract is 8 ounces of liquor to 1 ounce of beans. So these jars hold about 16 ounces. So we'll use 16 ounces of alcohol in our Weck jars, and then we'll add our beans. I'm actually gonna add the beans first. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the scale on, and we're tiered out at 0. Actually, first thing we want to do is wash our hands. So I'm gonna go wash my hands first. All right, hands are clean, and you want to make sure your jars are also nice and clean. So we are going to see how many beans we're going to add to here. We're going to be adding 2 ounces. We're almost there. All right, we're at 2 ounces. So that one's ready. All right, and we should be able to fit the rest in here. And we are making a single fold vanilla extract. And that is what most vanilla extracts are. If you want something that's really, really strong, then you do what's called a double fold extract. And that is basically doubling the vanilla beans in your extract. So instead of 1 ounce per 8 ounce of liquor, you would use 2 ounces of beans instead of 1 ounce. All right, so we've got our evenly distributed vanilla beans. Now we get to add our liquor. So I've got a measuring cup here, so I should be able to add at least 16 ounces of liquor to each of these. So I'm gonna start with the vodka. So that would be this one here. So this is a 1 cup measuring cup, so I'm just gonna measure out 1 cup, which is 8 ounces. All right, 1 more cup. All right. We wanna make sure that the beans are covered. And there is a little tiny bit sticking out the top, so I'm just gonna add just a tiny bit more. There we go. And then the Weck jars come with these really neat lids. So they're a glass lid if you're not familiar with Weck jars, and they've got this rubber gasket here. And you can actually use these for canning. You can make jams and other things using these jars. And then we've got some clips. So we've got 2 clips for each jar. You just clip on like that. And we're gonna keep this in a dark cupboard. And every now and then you can go in and just kind of give the jar a little shake. All right, so our vodka is ready. So let's do our rum next. All right, that covered up all the beans nicely, so we don't need to add any more there. And then we've got our Jim Beam. There's one little guy that looks a little bit taller than the rest, so I'm just gonna add a tiny bit more. Put a lid on this guy. So making vanilla extract takes a lot of patience because this isn't gonna be ready for about a year. I've seen some people speed up the process by putting it into a sous vide machine or just putting it in a much warmer location. But from what I understand, you get the best vanilla extract by just being patient and letting it do its thing naturally. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in the cupboard and give them a little shake now and then, and they'll be ready in a year, hopefully for Christmas. So here's the cabinet I'm gonna be storing the vanilla in. So we've got our Madagascar vanilla here that we'll put on the bottom shelf. And then we've got our Tahitian vanilla here we'll put next to it. And I'll come in and I'll give these a little bit of a shake maybe once a month or so. So one thing I forgot to mention is another option for making the vanilla extract is to actually cut your beans or slice your beans kind of in half. And some people do that to extract more flavor more quickly, but that also releases the vanilla seeds or vanilla caviar, as some people call it, into the extract. So that may or may not be desirable, and I've decided to not cut mine because I may want to use the beans later on. I might dry them and dehydrate them and crush them up or something, and I want to keep those seeds intact in the bean for use later. So that's just another option you may want to have. And also, if you cut them open, you may not want all those seeds floating around in your extract, and you'll want to strain those, which might be a little bit difficult. So that's why I chose to not cut my beans, but that is definitely a choice that's up to you. You can do it or not do it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.